YouTube's gonna wonder why the husband is standing holding a camera while his wife struggles.
Because she won't let me have it. She's being her normal honor self. I'll get the easy part.
Yeah. So it's just another day in paradise. Got a cow problem. Had a plan this afternoon to make soap and lotion. It's freezing cold out here, so I was gonna do inside stuff. And lo and behold, we have a cow that has prolapsed. She is at our pasture across the road, so we've got to go try to get her up, and which may not be easy. We're gonna bring her back here to the corral and I'm gonna try to fix it. I've never done this before. Literally, a prolapse is where part of their insides have come out. It can happen close to calving. It can happen after calving. I don't honestly think she's calved yet, but she's so heavily bred, she's probably been straining and pushed part of her cervix out. So this may be a little graphic, but we're gonna bring her over here. I'm gonna try to fix her up. Thankfully, we have awesome people to call that help give us advice on what to do when these things come up. We're learning as we go. This is our first case of this, but it's not that uncommon. And just the fact of the matter is, if you have a large herd of animals, you better start trying to do some of your own vet work, because we can't afford to call the vet every single thing that happens. So we're gonna give this a go and try to fix her up.
We're not so sure how this is gonna go, because this is gonna be quite a bit out of their norm. Thankfully, Lane fed them grain yesterday. We've just been letting them eat the grass, so they're not gonna be used to coming over to this corral for grain. All we can do is see how it goes.
And we've got a couple cuckoos over at this pen. I don't know yet which cow this is, so we'll see. Hopefully this is gonna be one of the tamer ones. I will say this though, in learning about what to do in the last little bit, once this happens, it's very likely to happen again. So I don't know that this cow will be sticking around. Probably have to sell her. We're gonna get her fixed up, and she's more than likely really close to calving, and then she'll be good for this year, but it's very highly likely that it'll happen on her next calving next year. So I hate it, but it's probably one we'll have to cull. Thankfully, Ben was in the area and he can come help me. We got the kids coming too. This may be an all hands on deck trying to just get these cows up. I feel like if I can get her to the corral, I can take care of this, but getting them up is gonna be the tricky part.
I'll get through that one.
Teamwork.
Working with top quality equipment.
Top quality. Don't you think, Lane?
Oh yeah.
It's called That's What's Paid For.
Best brand there is.
Yes. Okay, so we're calling up the cows. I'm gonna have to stand in this gap. Ben and Lane are calling them. Hopefully they're gonna come running. Hopefully they're gonna run right in this corral. I think we've decided we're gonna go ahead and move them. There's a pasture right on the other side of this corral. I'm gonna hold y'all up and see if y'all can see it. It needs to be eaten, so hopefully this will work like a charm. They can go over there and eat fresh, called standing hay. It's not fresh grass, but there's lots of grass over there. Then we'll move them back, and we got another pasture they can eat. So these cows actually have quite a bit still they can graze on before we start putting out hay over here. So we're just gonna kind of rotate them around. I'm gonna set y'all down or give you to Emily and try to guard this gap and try to get them run through here. With setups like this, you've really got one shot, and then they get spooked and they realize something weird's going on. So I'm gonna try to not mess this up.
Come on, hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, cow!
Mike,
Yes.
go down there and turn some of them.
Everybody move.
Good job.
Okay, so we got the cow up here as you just saw, and we are about to run her up in the chute. I don't know the technical term for this, but she got a major problem, and we're gonna try to help her, but we're gonna load her up in the trailer and see what we can do. Don't die.
Well, I hope not to.
All right, we finally got her loaded up. Every cow came up but her. But she's probably feeling pretty bad, I imagine, I'm sure. But we have one new calf over here that was born yesterday, and it did not come up with the mama cow. So Lane and Emily are going to find that and bring it over to this new paddock. Ben and I are taking this girl home and gonna get her fixed up. We're gonna take y'all with us, so let's go. All right, y'all, we had to turn the camera off yesterday because things got a little crazy. The cow started bleeding profusely. So when this happens, it's actually part of her insides have come out. It can happen like if muscles get weak inside the cow. It can happen if they're about to calve and they've got a lot of pressure on their tissues back there. There's a number of reasons. It can happen when they calve. But anyway, I don't necessarily know the exact cause of why she did it, but there's all kinds of blood vessels and arteries in there, and she started bleeding a lot. It looks like a nasty mess in the head chute where she started bleeding. So we had to just turn the camera off and focus on her. And so what I actually had to do was I put on 2 long gloves just so I could work with both arms, and I had to, this is graphic, but I had to make a fist and literally turn her inside out the right way. So it was tense and stressful. I did it a couple times and it came right back out. That's part of what happens. And hers was about the size of a football, but it can get as low as like hanging down, almost touching the ground. But hers was not super bad. I got her fixed up. Sometimes you have to stitch a cow closed in that situation to keep it from coming back out, because eventually things will not be as tense inside and she'll relax and everything will go back into place. But she was so tensed up that it was just coming right back out. Finally, I felt like I got it, like it went in the right way, and I felt really hopeful, and we stood there for quite a while, and sure enough, it stayed in place. You can see her behind me. She's doing good. It's not a severe risk of infection because in the birth canal of a cow is not the most sterile place anyway, so it's not a super big risk. We're watching her. We didn't medicate her with anything because we just didn't know if it was necessary. But you can see she's doing good. She's actually laid down and stood up and it stayed in, so that's a great sign. So all in all, me and Ben are cheering. We actually were just high-fiving and cheering because it's the next day and she seems to still be doing good, so that's an awesome sign. I don't think we'll keep this cow just because once they prolapse, a lot of times it will happen when they're about to have a baby, and then once they have the baby, the risk is over. But more than likely she'll prolapse again the next time she calves. So I doubt we keep this cow. There's just all kinds of different reasons when you're raising cows that you would cull one, and this would be one of the reasons. So but you can see she is fixed up. I'm glad about that because I hate to see an animal suffer, and I feel like this situation is resolved for the moment. She will be getting out of here so she can go graze and just have more room to move about. But we kept her in here overnight in case I needed to help her out again this morning. So, and we did not wind up stitching her. I meant to say that. A lot of times if you can get it back in place, you don't have to do the stitching. So this is resolved. We got the cows moved across the road. That turned into another fiasco. When we came over here with this sick cow, We had one calf that had been born over there with those cows we ran through to the new paddock, and we were just gonna go grab it and put it in the new paddock. Well, we couldn't find it. The kids looked for literally about
2 hours.
an hour or two. We wound up having to go back over there. It was getting dark, and run that mama cow with a few others back into the old paddock so she could find the calf, which she did. That's taken care of. But needless to say, it was a long night. But it's all done. We're moving on. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll see y'all later. God bless. I'll leave you with a little footage of the girl. She's doing much better. Of course, she's sore. Who wouldn't be? But she looks way better than yesterday.